Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Saturday, February the 7th, 2026, and this is my Flosstube episode 155. I would like to say hello and welcome to any and all new subscribers. I thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to spend some time with me and allow me to enable you with a project or two. And for my returning friends, I would like to say hello and thank you for coming back each and every time that I do upload a video. Everything is going well. Life is just busy, and so you know, that's why I'm 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks. I am going to continually work on uploading videos sooner or closer together, because it helps with the amount of projects that I show. We had a huge snowstorm here in Columbus, and there's still snow everywhere. It was amazing. We still have snow on the ground, which I am not used to. But, you know, winter is winter and spring will come when it comes. So I am patiently awaiting the change of the season again. Winter is just cold and dark and dreary, and I'm already over it. So I have quite a bit to share with you. I finished up Bringo. I did end up with a blackout board. And then I started the Great British Bake Off Sal. So I have projects to show from that. I have some starts, some finishes, and a lot of whips. So we're going to get right into it. Grab your stitching, grab a beverage, and come along with me as I share what I have been working on since January into today. All right. So for the month of January, I had 3 starts. I haven't had any starts for the month of February, so I'll try to go, as I go through everything, I'll try to tell you if it was from January or February, the first week of February, because with me doing this video today, it should get me back on track to do videos, if not once a week, at least twice a week, or twice a week, every 2 weeks. So that's where we're going to be at. So I started 2 projects on Martin Luther King Day, and you're going to hear Albert. The wind is really blowing here, and he keeps going to the screen door because he can hear everything that's going on. So I do not have copies, so if I have pictures of the projects in their completion, I'll post them here. So here's one. And this project I started for Martin Luther King Day. It is the second in an installment from Works by ABC, and it is called Words of Wisdom. And that is what this looks like. This is where I've gotten to so far. I'm also using this for this month in the Whippagories, I believe. So this is Words of Wisdom by Works by ABC. I am stitching this on an 18 count Forbidden Fiber Co. Harvest Moon. And I am using Flosh 208. So I started this on January the 19th in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I actually, I have it on a big piece of fabric because I'm going to, she will be putting out 2 others. There will be a total of 4, I believe. And I have one stitched already, and I'm going to restitch it on this fabric so that they will all match. The first one I did was on a 14 count white Aida, so I'm going to restitch it and then add it to this fabric so that they will all look the same. My second Martin Luther King Day start was by Shaded Stitchery, and it is called Never Lose. And if I have a picture of it, I'll post it right here also. And this is where I am on it right now. So I have another line to go here, more words. These are on my Markup XP. That's why I don't have like where I can show you the actual chart. They are downloads that you can get. Shaded Stitchery is a Gumroads pattern that you can get from there. And the Words of Wisdom Works by ABC is a freebie on her website. So this is being stitched on 18 count Morning Glory by Be Stitch Me, and I am using it is 823 Flosh for the words on this. It is my goal to have these finished this month for Black History Month. And plus they're small, I don't want to keep carrying them over. So that's where I am with those two projects. Those were actually started in the month of January. January the 19th for Dr. Martin Luther King Day. And then for Bringo, I had a start, and it was the number 20, and it was new to you. And the project that was new to me is a designer, and the designer is Cliffside Stitches. And I am working on North African tiles. And this project is interesting in the fact that there is a group of us that are friends. We all stitch together, and we have started what is called a tail-end project. So the way that I am working the tail-end project is if I have, you know, some leftover thread, no matter what the color is, if it could be silk, it could be cotton. The only thing that I will not be able to use is the flosh. And that is because I am stitching this on a 25 count dark gray. And I can't remember. I don't even know if I still have the... But what the premise is that the threads that I have left over from other projects that are long enough to stitch, then I'm going to stitch in this project. So I started here in the corner, and that's where I am. For Words of Wisdom, I should have said this. For Words of Wisdom, so far I've put in 725 stitches. For Never Lose, I've put in 498 stitches. And for North African Tiles, I've put in 351 stitches. And this, I'm stitching this on 25 count over 1. And it's just going to be multicolored, multi-thread. I'm just using whatever threads I have left over after I do my stitching for the day. So you will see this project throughout the month. I might do it once a month, and then that way I can just... I am collecting my threads. I purchased a... it was so great. At Winter Fair, I purchased a gourd bowl, and it has tribal turtles on it, and then it has a lid on it, and those are the threads that I'm collecting for the thread in project. So I'm using this bowl to collect them because it sits right here at my stitchy spot. So those are my new starts, and those are all for January. I haven't had any new starts. I haven't had any starts for February so far. There will be some though. So now we're going to move into the whips. I finished up Bringo, and I had a blacked out board, so we're going to go through them. I am going to give you what the number is, but I'm not going to go back and reread what the actual project was. Or maybe I should. I actually have it right here. I could do that. That way you'll know, like, oh, okay, that's what that's good for. No. Albert. He is just not, he actually has been quite whiny for, like the last week or so. And so, I don't know. He just is not happy. He's not a happy camper for some reason, but I'm like, you know. He can't tell me what's wrong. He can't tell me really what's wrong, but like we've had people in and out of the house doing repairs, and he doesn't like strangers in the home, so that ends up being an issue for him. So hopefully, you know, you won't hear too much of him making all that noise. Okay, so Bringo. Number 12. Number 12 was a TV show of your choice, and I chose Flosstube channel, and it was Carolyn Zook, and it was May Peace Abide, and that is by Heartstring Samplery. I started this on December the 31st. As my New Year's Eve start. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I added another 201 stitches to this project. I am stitching this on 18 count Mirage by Picture This Plus, and I am using 310 Floss on this project. I am loving the Floss with 18 count fabric. The coverage is really good. You can see on the black. So I am really loving this project, this 18 count using Floss thread with it. I'm going to have to see, I'm going to have to see if I can find some more of this fabric. I don't usually stitch on Picture This Plus, but that Mirage, I really like the modeling and how the gray, different colors turn out on it. Okay, so that was number 12 for Bringo. My next project for Bringo was number 9, and number 9 was a whip or new start with a bird. And my project for that is Christmas Sentiments by Stony Creek. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where I am now. So I believe the last time I shared this with you, I had this whole poinsettia done. This project is on my Year of Whips, which is a group by Melanie Watkins. It is closed right now. It runs from January the 18th to December the 18th. So it's actually a closed group right now. I believe I added these snowflakes up here. And I started on the last tree and I put these snowflakes in here. I added 262 stitches to this project. I will remind you that for Bringo, you had to stitch either 100 stitches or 1 hour on a project. And so I would pick up the project and stitch on it for the day. So that is where I am with that. Here's the whole. It's going to be so pretty. Like, I'm going to get this framed as soon as I can. I still have back stitching and beading to do. So it'll be on my year of whips. But I am planning on having this as a finish this year. I am stitching this on a 28 count Harvest Moon by Color and Cotton. And the floss, I did a conversion to flosses that matched back to what was called for. For Bringo number 2, it is remind you of growth. And for that, I chose Fairy Garden because gardens grow flowers. And if you recall, this is out of Just Cross Stitch Magazine 2022. Nope, 2020. April 2020. And I am stitching this very first one up here. This is by Carolyn Manning Designs. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is a picture of where it is now. I added 372 stitches to this project. It is stitched on a 16 count Christmas cactus by Fortnite Fabrics, and I'm using the called for DMC threads for it. I added this flower here. I believe I finished up this here also and put in more in the middle. This is also on my year of whips. And I'm really glad that I am going to end up having some more of this fabric. I'm sorry. I'm waiting on a phone call, so I might have to cut this video off, pause it. So that is where I am now. I also added this here. I still need to put in 4 stitches in the middle. But from here on out, I'm going to be working, you know, down and across. There will be back stitching when I'm finished with this. There are back stitching or straight stitches to put in for the vines for the flowers. So that is Fairy Garden. For the next project I worked on was for Whippagories and Scenic. The category for it was Scenic, and for Scenic I chose to use Frosty Tiny Town. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. I added 359 stitches to this project, which is this partial of this building here. So when I last shared it, I think I only had like maybe part of the roof. But I know I put in the whole building, and I believe I might have added this snowflake here also. This is being stitched on a 32 count Wexford Fog, and I'm using the called for DMC on this project. It seems to me like there's something missing on this tree. No, there's actually not. So that's just, it's like it should have like another couple of stitches right there at the top, but as I'm looking at the chart, it doesn't have that. So, but I really enjoy these tiny towns. So you'll be seeing more of them soon. I have quite a few of them, and some of them I still need to start them, so you'll be seeing them going forward. I need to get a couple of them done before I can start a couple more of them, so I'll be working on them. The next project that I worked on was for Bringo, and it was number 22, which was roll the dice. And have someone roll the dice, a 6-sided dice, and then stitch the number they selected times 100. EJ rolled the dice for me. This was a makeup. So the last time I recorded, I had not stitched this. EJ rolled the dice for me, and it was a 6, which meant that I needed to stitch 600 stitches on the project. So I picked up... for that number, it is Kaleidoscope, and that is in this quilting book by Lori Holt. You have seen this before. It is on my Year of Whips. This is what it will look like. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. Oh my goodness. And here is where it is now. So I added 639 stitches to this project. I brought this down here. I brought some more of the middle down, and this side here. So I still have this middle here and another triangle here. I'm stitching this on a 16 count. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you know what? The card got, I don't know what happened to the card with this. I believe it's a 16 count. No, I take that back. It's an 18 count white Aida because I'm only using one thread. But I am using the called for DMC with this. I love this project. It's so, the positive and the negative spaces in there. Like, I love this project. It's going to be interesting. Like, I don't know how I'm going to. I actually thought that I would make it into a pillow front, but then a white fronted pillow, I don't know if that is a smart choice, but I really want to do something nice with it. Like, I just don't want it to sit around. So that was Bringo number 22. Bringo number 15 is Stitch on a Pattern by a non-US designer. And for me, my non-US designer is Twin Peak Primitives. And Twin Peak Primitives is the Snow Angel. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I am steady filling in the snowflake. This is also on my Year of Whips. I utilize Bringo. I'm not sure that I'm going to do it for Springo. I'm sorry, like something is bothering my eye. I don't know that I'm going to utilize Springo for the same thing that I did for Bringo. I added my year of whips in for Bringo so that they would get a lot of work, and I tried to fill them in as many times as possible. So I finished off both the wings. I am stitching this on a 14 count Nordic Ada, and I am using sulky floss for it. So I filled in the white and both the wings, and that was 333 stitches that day. So I still need to put in the pink for his cheeks. I don't get the whole pink cheek thing for Snowman, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then I need to put on his eyes. And there's another cardinal that sits on this side of him, and I need to put in the legs. So this could potentially, you know, be a quickish finish. I am going to, like if I'm traveling or doing something where I need some fill-in, some quick stitches, this will be my go-to project so that I can get it completed. I did not do a plans video, and I was talking to we were on a Zoom call for the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group, and Megan, one of the ladies of the group, she bless her heart, she was telling me, you know, like even though it's February, it's not too late to put out what your goals are for the year. So what I'm thinking is that I might do it for the quarter. And come back with another video and show you like what I'll be working on from now through March 20th. Like just do the winter and then do spring and then do summer and then do winter. So we'll see how that goes. Again, recording when you have other people living in your house is a whole different, it's a whole different thing. So like I have to, like, I need to record. What are you doing today? So, so this next project actually got a lot of love in the month of January and in February, as it turns out, because it was Bringo call number 22, which was, I did this wrong. I think it was 23. Nope. Maybe it was number 2. Nope. Okay, so I don't know what number it was. Oh, it was number 11 and number 18. And I also used it for a pop-up challenge that we had. It was what is the name of it? February fill-in, which was, it runs through tomorrow. And it was, if Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, you would stitch on winter. We'd have 6 more weeks of winter. If he didn't see a shadow, we'd have, you know, spring. It doesn't matter because we're still in the midst of winter. But I guess that he didn't see a I don't know. Either way it went, I had to stitch on winter. I never can like keep that whole thing straight in my mind, even though they make such a big deal out of this domestic animal or wild animal doing the forecast for the next 6 weeks. Like, it's still gonna be winter. It doesn't matter. Like, we're in winter until March. So my project was Winter Quaker. This is on my year of whips. I have big goals for this project. And for the month of January and part of February, I put in a total of 1,103 stitches. I have already, so my yearly goal for this project, I set goals for each year. Like if a project was started, this is my oldest whip. It was started in 2019. So the yearly goal for projects in 2019, which I only have one, is 1,000 stitches. So I have already met the yearly goal for this project because of Bringo and Punxsutawney Phil. So here's a picture of where it was before so I already have some stitches in it, but here's a picture of where it was before at least the 500 stitches, because we had to add 500 stitches for the February fill in. Okay. And here is where I am now. So I completed this whole motif here. I believe I finished this motif. This motif might have already been finished. I put in and finished this motif here, and I started this big motif here. So for the Punxsutawney Phil, I actually added like 562 stitches. And then for the other ones, for the rest of I put in a total of 916 stitches. So that is where we are with that. I am stitching this on a 14 count Aida. I am using all over dyed threads on this because I did not purchase the Valdani. And that is where it is now. This is also my my Sunday seasonal project, even though I haven't really worked on it on Sundays because it's been in Bringo. So for the rest of the winter season, I'll be stitching on this for Sundays, and I'll probably just be putting in like 100 or 200 stitches. It is very slow paced for me to work on that project because I'm changing threads a lot. The biggest motif, which is the one that I'm working on right now, is one of the bigger motifs, is this one right here. This is the one of the ones that I'm going to be spending a whole lot of time with. This motif is finished, so I am like, this is finished, this is finished, this is finished, this is finished. So now I'm going to work on this motif here and possibly this one. But it is my plan to have it completed by the end of the year. So that's where I stand on that. I was so proud of myself when I did all the stitches, and I used Notion. So I put all the stitches in Notions, and I looked at it and it said that you had met, you know, my goal was completed. And I was like, oh my gosh, like in a month and 1 week, I did all those stitches. So I was like super ecstatic about that. My last Sunday of the month project that I stitched with my friends, we're all doing a Carolyn Manning project. And my Carolyn Manning project is Purple Poppies. And I don't know if I have a screenshot of what I need to get. I need to print out the pages. My printer wasn't working, so that's why some of them are not printed out. But here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And this is going to be very difficult to see. Here is where it is now. Okay, if I hold it just like that, you can see it. I added 474 stitches to this project. So I am working my way across. So I filled in this green, I believe. I know this is all new right here. I filled this in also. I am stitching this on an 18 count Heather by Fiber on a Whim, and I'm using the called for DMC. This is a full, oh, and I brought the side border down. When I work on borders, I bring them down. So like the next time I work on this, I'll bring this border down, and then I work across, so that I don't have border issues when I get down to the bottom of the project. This is a full coverage project, so there are some of us that are doing what we are calling full coverage Fridays. It is on the 2nd and 4th Fridays of each month. So you may end up seeing this a couple of times during the month, rather than just working on it one Sunday a month. But even with that, if I work on it every 4th or 5th Sunday, this should be a finish by the end of the year also. And again, if you are new to my channel, I love Carolyn Manning designs, and so I have quite a few of them, with most of them being full coverage projects. And it's funny, you know, like I was like, oh no, I don't have that many full coverage, but then when I think about the amount, you know, initially when you think full coverage, you think like Purple Rain, a Hate, something like that, but I have quite a few Carolyn Manning designs. Okay. Speaking of Purple Rain, he was number 19, and that was a Whipper New Start with 15 or more colors, and of course he has a ton. And this is designed by Heaven and Earth. Well, the artwork is by John Enright, and here is what it will look like. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And I need to leave this out because I'm going to. And here is where I am now. So I added 340. Here's the whole project. I added 348 stitches to this project. With the bulk of it, I took care of some ninja stitches. I took care of some more ninja stitches. And now I put in quite a few here also. So now I'm going to put this on a scroll frame, a scroll rod, and I'm going to start picking up. I like the 10 by 10 square. I used that this time, and it worked out. As you can also see, I am trying the parking with it also. So when I come back to it for the month of February, I'm going to come over here and work in this area so that I can, you know, try to get it to a point where it's even on as I'm coming down. I am taking care of so the way that I'm approaching it is I take care of some of the ninja stitches or solitary stitches, and then I try to find blocks within a 10 by 10. And I will be continuing to do that because I like filling it in 10 by 10 blocks as I go. It just works easier for my brain. That way I don't have to go back. And I seem to not make as many mistakes when I do the 10 by 10 because like I'm not, like, you know, I'm doing the counting right then, and then I pick up. So I have a couple of needles threaded with colors. If they call for that color in that block, then I'll thread a needle and do those however many stitches it is in that block. And then I can keep going within. So I do the main color in the block, and then whatever, like 3, 4, or 5 stitches that are in another color in the block, then I do those so that the block is completely done, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because it just makes better sense for me to do it that way. That way I'm marching down the page instead of trying to find, oh, okay, this one is way over here, this one is way over here. So for the Whippagories, which is ran by Sammy J, you know what I didn't put on here? Oh, I think I shared that in my last video. That's another reason why I need to stop waiting 3 weeks to do videos, because I'm like, did I do that already? So Whippagories is run by Sammy J Stitches here on Flosstube and Instagram. And the category was fandom. And for me, I chose Letter K Fairy by Nora Corbett. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I added 276 stitches to this project, and it's all right here in this K, upper part of the K, and down here I started with a new color down here. As you can tell, I still have not added the fairy yet. She is going to be last. I'm going to do all the work around her and then put her in last. All of these open spots here are for beads. There are a lot of beads in this project. There are 6 different beads that will go into this project when it's all said and done. So that is where I am with that. The next project, I shared this already in January. I worked on it again in January, but I had forgotten when I updated my goals for 2026 that so it used to be that a new start for me was 200 stitches. Well, when we were for 2025, it was 200 stitches. So when we came to 2026, I increased it to 250 stitches and forgot that I did that till I was going through some notes and was like, oh my goodness. So there were some new starts that I had in the month of January that I still needed to add stitches to get them to 250. This being one of them. It was my birthday start, and it is Shannon Christine Designs Purple Butterfly. This was gifted to me by a very dear friend. And here is where it was when I last shared it with you. So my friend that sent me this provided the whole thing. She kitted it up except for fabric, because she wasn't for sure what fabric that I would want to use on it. And so I did some more work on the butterfly wing. I added another 203 stitches to this project. So this is being stitched on an 18 count from my stash. And I believe it's the same 18 count that I'm stitching Martin Luther King's Words of Wisdom on, because the modeling is the same. So that is where I am now. I approach these projects that have like outlining in black and all of that the same way that I approach ink circles projects. I do all of the outlining, and then I go back in and do the filling in of the colors. It's almost like a coloring book to me. So that is where I am with that. Also, I participate in a group with friends, and we play a game called Candyland, and I've talked about it several times. I ended up with a candy card, which was 1,000 stitches. I have set goals for each year. So, for instance, Winter Quaker was started in 2019, so it has 1,000 stitch goal for the year. If the project was, so the next year is either 2021, 2022. Okay, so for 2021, like I have 6 projects that are from 2021, and they get 700 stitches, and then it goes down from there. So 2022, 600, 23, 500, 24, 400, 25, 300, and then starts get 250. Okay, so I say all that to say that this project was started in 2022. And so it has to get, for the year, 600 stitches. And what I'm talking about is Snowflake Sampler, which is in the February 2022 edition of Just Cross Stitch magazine. This is it. So in playing the game Candyland, I got a candy card, which meant that I needed to put 1,000 stitches in the project. Here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. I actually put in 1,003 stitches. So when you last saw this, the only thing that was here was this big snowflake motif here. I added all of this here. This is being stitched on an 18 count Charles Craft Ada. I am using Blanc Floche for this project. And that is where it is now. So needless to say, I did get my 1,000 stitches in, and I literally stitched it in a day and a half. Like last Saturday, this is all I worked on. So it has met its yearly goal, and probably will not come out again this year. So that was Snowflake Sampler, and it is by it's in Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it is by KEB Designs. And I love it because I like snowflakes. So okay, so for the month of February in the magazine, in the magazine monthly cross stitch group, the word is, I don't know what the word is. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's K-A-Z-K-Y. Kazi. I don't know. I'll have to ask Carolyn. But for the first K, I had my friend Kevin from Akia Whips choose. So K, Kevin's pick. And he picked for me to work on Bella Butterfly. It was also his wife's Erica's birthday on February the 2nd. And for her birthday stitch, she wanted us all to stitch on a fancy lady. And so I got, ding ding, 2 for the price of 1. And I stitched on Bella Butterfly. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. I added 212 stitches to this project, and it is all in the headdress. I'm still working on the headdress. I did put in this butterfly here. This will be a butterfly once it's outlined and back stitched. But the bulk of the stitching was in the headdress. And so there's still more headdress to go up here. And then I will have beading done on it also. I'll have beading to still do on it also. But she is looking very, very good. Very, very, very good. I think I'm going to have to redo the nose part though. I don't know. It just doesn't look, but it also has to get back stitched. So I need to wait to do that and do the back stitching. So that was for Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group. Yeah. Okay. So now that was Bella Butterfly. So I am also participating in the Great British Bake Off Sal. It is a Facebook group. There, if you would like to join, you just go to GBBOSAL. It is a private group. You do have to answer the 3 questions to get in. It just started on February the 1st. So we just watched week 1. They are doing season 9 in the group. From what I saw today, there are people in the group that are doing the current season. So you can do however it works best for you. I'm going with season 9, which when I watched it, I was like, oh my goodness, I already watched this because it's on Netflix. And there for a while, I was binging all kinds of programs. So I had already watched it. Thing is that like it was so long ago, I can't remember who won, which is good because, you know, I'll just keep stitching. So, excuse me, there are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 categories. The last category is a handshake by Paul. Not Paul. What is his name? Paul something. Anyway, but the handshake by Paul is hit or miss. So there are 4 main categories. The first category is first and technical, and for first and technical, or the project, I chose my projects in alphabetical order. So the person's name and the I put the people in alphabetical order. Then I put the projects in alphabetical order, and that's how I matched them up. So first and technical was Maggie, and for Maggie, her project is Thistle by Carolyn Manning Designs. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I added this portion right here for a grand total of 162 stitches. So for first and technical, the required number of stitches is 100. I put in 162. These will be staying out. So I do remember part of it though. And one of my projects, I was like, oh my God, that project's going to get a lot of work. But these projects you'll be seeing as they, you know, come up in the TV show. So I need to put that over to the side. The next category is last in technical, and the stitcher that won that was Amanda, and Amanda's project is a Stitcher's Wish by Stitchy Pros. This is also my leap year start, so I need to have it finished in 2028. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. Last and Technical gets 50 stitches, and I put in a total of 66 stitches, and that was the side here. I put in a total of, 50 stitches, right, and I put in 66 stitches, and that is here. The next category is the Star Baker, and for Star Baker, it was Jargon, and Jargon's project is Lichen by Ink Circles. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it's at now. So I filled in here, right here, and I filled in like some down here. No, over, yeah, down here. For Star Baker, you put in 125 stitches, and I added 158 stitches. And then the last category is the baker that was sent home, and that baker was Tom, and Tom's project, and I was so sad. I was like, dang it. So Tom's project was Sumatran Lace by Ink Circles. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it. I am stitching this on a 38 count Legacy Linen Sea Serpent, and I am using Dinky Dye's Miss Molly. I kitted this project when I was at Acorns and Threads, the year that I went on my Alaskan cruise, which was 2024. And here is where I am now. So I put in, because there was not a handshake, so the baker that gets sent home, I got my notes right here. The baker that gets sent home gets 75 stitches. But if Paul doesn't, dang it, his name was right there. Okay. But if Paul does not give a handshake, then the handshake stitches of 150 goes to the person that gets sent home, which gives them a total of 225 stitches. Since Tom got sent home, rightfully so, like he couldn't bake, but I put in 296 stitches, and that is where I got to. So when I first showed this, like I only had this little bit done right here. So I added all of this for 296 stitches. And I'm so disappointed. Like, I still have more stitches to do because, again, this is a 2024 project. So I still need to add like another 100 and some stitches because the goal for 2024 is 400 stitches. Yeah. So I still need to put more stitches in to make it up to 400. But I was like, dang it. After you watch the show, you're like, man, I should have gave that project to blah, 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 so that they get more stitches in it. But so he's going home, so he can go in the going home pile. And then last night we had our Elegant Lace Zoom call because it was First Fridays. We do EJ of the Sunshine Stitchers does an Elegant Lace Zoom on the first Friday of the month. Because Elegant Lace is our year-long sale. It is by Works by ABC, Arlene Cohen, and we love it. And here is what the finish looks like. And here's a picture of where I was the last time I shared it with you. And I took it out of the Nerge because I think I'm going to put it on a scroll rod. Here is where I am on it now. I am stitching this on 40 count Verdal Huckleberry by Be Stitch Me, and I am using a hand dye by Rolanda vintage purple floss for this. Again, I am approaching this like I do ink circles. I'm doing the full crosses first, and then I'm going to go back in and do the half stitches. And as I say that, I'm like, no, I probably need to start adding some of the half stitches so that I can see if it's going to look okay with the thread color that I chose. I don't know. But that is where I am now. Yesterday, I put in 569 stitches on this. So I put in all of this right here. And that's where my nerd stopped at. So I am actually going to, I have the number 3. I actually have a number 3 and a number 4 nerd. I really don't like working with those. So I've decided that I'm going to put it on a scroll rod. But it shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like, I could cut this in half. I'm sure. I could cut it in half. But that is where I am with that. I really do enjoy working on this project. And then, of course, you know, when you use 40 count, one thread, it's like, woohoo! It's wonderful. So those were all of the whips that I worked on for these past 3 weeks. I do have some finishes. And then I will give you a little bit of my plans, and then I'm going to let you go to your next Flosstube. So I had 2 finishes for the month of January, and the first one I finished on January the 18th, and it is Daisy by It's So Emma for the Fat Quarter Shop. I was in the Flower of the Month Club. I did leave off the, so here's what the original chart looked like. And I left off Stitchy Seed Coat and the number 20. And here, this is what my finish is. I stitched this on a 32 count Whimsical by Be Stitch Me, and I used the provided Classic Color Works floss for this. I do have all of these. I am going to be starting the February one, and hopefully it won't take me a whole year. Like, I need to work on them during the month and finish them. So that I can have them all. Oh, I need to put that over there. Okay. The next project that I finished for the month of January was my Blessing Sampler. And my Blessing Sampler was by Sweet Ring Studio. It is Bless and Keep. And I finished this on January the 24th. And here is what it looks like. I'm so glad, like, you can see the white stitches on this. So that is where I am with that. Or I finished my Blessing Sampler in January. And then I had a finish today, which was actually a Whippagory category. One of the categories was closest to a finish, and I actually started this project for my Christmas Ornaments 2026. So there's a group of us that are doing 6 Christmas ornaments for this year. And I am participating, and I started at the end of January. I started Fa La 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 La, Fa La 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 by Heart in Hand. I had already finished Mary when we did the Jingle Ball, so I started Fa La 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 for January, and it carried over into February, so it was closest to a finish, and here is where it is. So I actually finished this right before the video. It took 114 stitches to finish it. I will be putting all of my Christmas ornaments on this one piece of fabric for this year. So it's a pretty big, you know, it's a fat quarter. So I just move over some and I'll put another one, or go down and put another one. And I'm saying that, and now I'm not going to do that, because the one for January, I'm not going to put on here, but maybe. I don't think so, though. So those were my 4 finishes, or 3 finishes, 2 in January and 1 in February so far. We'll see what else the month has to bring. My plans for this month, I watched week number 2 of the Great British Bake Off, so I'm going to get those projects started for the week. And I am going to keep working on my magazine monthly and my Whipagories. My WhipGo, and I don't have those projects, but you'll see them soon. The number 5 was called, and for me, I'm using the alphabet, and the number 5 is the letter E. And so for the letter E, I chose the word equality, and for that project, I will be stitching on Harriet Tubman. And then for the number 22, the letter is the letter U. And so for that, I chose Umbrella, which is Current Mood, which is from Just Cross Stitch magazine. So you'll be seeing that coming up soon. I still have my Whipagories to go through. A lot of what I am stitching on this month is based around Representation Matters and Black History Month. So you will see Maya Angelou, you will see Rosina Dizery. I would like to finish Words of Wisdom and Never Lose for Black History Month. So those will be some of the things that you will see for me for this month. So I thank you all so very much. I feel like I rushed through this, but you know, it is an hour and 7 minutes long, so I guess I didn't rush this as much. I had a lot, so I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me. I hope you all got a lot of stitching in, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.